All right. So today we're starting the unit about inequalities. And inequalities are something that you probably are a little familiar with, and you were probably taught them in elementary school as an alligator. And an alligator always eats the bigger number. So it's a big, hungry alligator, and he always eats the bigger number every single time. Okay, and that's what inequalities are. Inequalities are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. And we're going to talk about those things today and kind of get us refreshed on what an inequality is. Now, we will be going more towards the higher end of things this week too, where we're actually solving inequalities. But the awesome thing is if you can solve a one-step or a two-step equation that we've been doing, then these will be a breeze because they're pretty much the exact same. Okay. All right. So intro to inequalities. An equation. So an equation that we've been working on uses an equal sign to show that both sides are equivalent. So equivalent's just another word for equal or the same. But an inequality does not have an equal sign. It has an inequality symbol. And it has that because both sides are not equal. So an inequality shows that both sides are not equal. Because if they were equal, then it would be called an equation. So that's why they're not going to be equal. Now, the way that you read an inequality depends upon which way you read it from left to right or right to left. Okay? So I'm going to label these as if I was reading it from left to right, just like a regular sentence. So a greater than would be like this. So if I was reading this from left to right, I would say greater than. Greater than or equal to. Yeah. It has a line under it because if it's greater than or it's equal to, that makes it true. So the word or, okay, we'll put it in terms of housework. Your mom comes home and she says, you need to do the dishes or take out the trash. What does that mean you should do? Do one of them, either one of them. Okay? No, if she said, do the dishes and take out the trash, that's when you have to do both of them. But if she says, do the dishes or take out the trash, you only have to pick one of them. Just like with greater than or equal to, the number has to be greater than or it can be equal to. Not both, just one of them. Less than will go the other way. And then less than or equal to will have the line under it because it could be less than or it could be equal to that number. Yep.
How would it be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to?
So the number is either greater or it's equal to. So like if I said 5 is greater than or equal to 3. Is 5 greater than or is it equal to 3? It's greater than, so that's good. Because it says that it can be greater than or it can be equal to. If I put 7 is greater than or equal to 7. Equal. Is that true? It's equal. 7 is equal to 7. So it's 7 is greater than or it's equal to 7. So it's the equal part that makes it true. This one, it's the greater part that makes it true. Okay, so if they're only equal, then you would just put the equal sign. But we're basically going to say, is this true or is this false? Basically like that. And then we're going to get into solving equations, and it could be either of them. We'll get there. All right, and then not equal is the equal sign with a line through it. All right, so it says on this next little section, use an inequality symbol to create a true statement. So we said the alligator always eats the bigger number, okay? So on A, 4 or 9? 9 is bigger, so I'm going to eat the 9. And I don't put the line under it because 4 and 9 are not equal. 9 is just bigger than 4. All right, on B, 0.5 or 0.45. Preston? 0.5 is bigger than 0.45. It's farther away from 0, which makes it bigger. 0.5 is a half. 0.5 is a half. Would you rather have 0.5 of a pizza or 0.45 of a pizza? 0.45 is less than half. All right, C. All right, listen. C are the ones that people miss the most. And the reason they miss it the most is because of whoever said it's closer to 0. Who's that, Ethan? -3 or -2? Which one is bigger? -2 is bigger. And it's bigger because it's closer to 0. When two numbers are negative, the one that's actually smaller is the bigger one because it's closer to 0. If you think about it on a number line, look. Okay, here's -2, here's -3. -2 is closer to 0, which is why it is bigger than -3. It's one bigger. Wow. All right, here's another negative one. -6.1 and -6.10. Equal. Those are equal. Yeah. Those are equal.
Because the 0 at the end.
The 0 at the end doesn't matter.
So you can just take off the 0.
Right. How come? So this right here is -6.1, and so is this one. That 0 at the end doesn't have to be written there. So those are the exact same numbers, so they are equal. So there are two things that I would accept here.
So the 0 doesn't matter because
it's at the end. Yeah. So two things I would accept. You can put an equal sign there, or you can put a greater than or equal to sign there. So the directions do say an inequality symbol. So I'm just going to put a greater than or equal to, because it may not be greater, but it is equal to. So it's greater or it's equal to. So it is equal to. All right, what about E? Which one's bigger? All right, Raymond. 12.4 is bigger than 12.04. 0.04, that's in the hundredths place. The other one's only in the tenths place. So 12.4 is bigger. Okay. All right, the next part. Write a verbal. So when you see the word verbal, that means if you were going to read me this problem, how would you read it out loud? So real quick, I want somebody to read me this problem right here, A. Just tell me what it says, Raymond. 4 what? 4 is less than 9, okay? All right, what about this one, Preston? -2, Or what if Chanel's looking at it and she's like, no, I think I should say 9 is greater than 4. Is she wrong? No. So you can read it either way. So you can read this one as 4 is less than 9, or backwards, 9 is greater than 4. Or this one, -3 is less than -2, or -2 is greater than -3. So that's what I'm going to do on this next part. I can read it and write it out in words, okay? So this could read 6 is what? Less than. So what does that mean? What's this mean right here?
Equal.
Or equal to x. So you can read this as 6 is less than or equal to x. But Sophia's looking at it and she wants to read it the other way. So she wants to start with this x. So how can Sophia read it if she starts with this x? X is
Greater than.
bigger, greater than, or equal to 6. So she could write it, so I'm going to put another option. X is greater than or equal to 6. It just depends on how you read it, which side you start at. All right, I want you all to try that next one. I want you to write it how you would think. Yes, Paige. Okay, let's give everybody a chance to try it. So read this one right here in your head, and then write it on that line. Just out in words. All right, Aiden, why don't you tell me what you put? Perfect. All right, anybody else want to say it a different way? All right, okay, Sophia. All right, Brian. 0.5. Eating is 0.5 because 0.5 is greater than y. So I read mine from left to right. So I would have said just like 8. Y is less than 0.5.
Is it 0.5 and a half?
Yeah.
So you can just say I have.
You can say half. Yeah. But if you wrote yours backwards, then yours backwards would be like what Bryant was saying. 0.5 is greater than x because it's eating the 0.5. So either one of those would be perfect. Now, a lot of people, when they do these, they always tell you, you must read it from left to right, or you must read it starting at the variable. I don't care, okay? As long as you can read it, I don't care if you start at the variable, you start at the number, but I will tell you over the years, most people read it starting at the variable. So right here in the notes, it says use the variable as the starting point when reading inequalities. All right, so on 1 through 9, basically we're just going to say, is it true or is it false? So we're just going to put T or F. Okay, well, hold on, we don't know yet. So number 1. Number 1 says determine whether each value makes a true statement. So it tells me k plus 8 is greater than or equal to 19 if k equals 11. So what you're going to do is just like how on equations we check our answer. Okay, you're going to plug it in. Guys, we've got to get focused. Some people are playing with their nails. Some people's eyes are closed. Some people are looking at their shoes. Let's focus because this stuff we're working on all this week and next. Okay? So right here, I'm going to take this 11 and I'm going to plug it in for k and I'm going to work it out. Okay, so I'm going to put 11 in right there. So 11 plus 8 is greater than or equal to 19. So what is 11 plus 8?
19.
So 19. So 19 is greater than or equal to 19. So is 19 greater than 19? No. Is 19 or equal to 19? Yes. So this right here, G or M, it says 19 is greater than or it's equal to 19. So it's not greater, but it is equal to 19, right? So that's why this one is true. Because 19 is equal to 19. So 19 is greater than or equal to 19.
Are we just gonna use like the greater than or equal to sign, like, and just not use the like equal?
Right. All right, let's look at number 2 here. Yep. All right, well, hold on, don't work ahead. All right, number 2. 12 is eating the 12, so 12 is greater than F if F equals 3. So I'm going to take that 3 and I'm going to put it in for F. So 12 is greater than 3. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so this one's true. You don't know yet, I done it.
Yeah, I got it. Well, don't do it if you can't look at
It's not supposed to mark ahead or else I'm not going to take the notes out. All right, let's look at number 3. 3 is greater than D if D equals 3. So I'm going to put 3 in for the D spot. So 3 is greater than 3. Is 3 greater than 3?
No.
No. And it doesn't have a line under it, so we can't say or equal to. So it just says 3 is greater than 3, which is not true, so this one is false. All right, I want you all to try number 4. Right, shh. Just do number 4, don't look ahead at number 4. All right, so C minus 12, and it's eating that way, so greater than 30 if C equals 13. So 13 is going in for this C. So that's 13 minus 12 is greater than 30. Well, what is 13 minus 12?
1.
1. So it's saying 1 is bigger than 30. That is not true. Cat.
Stop.
So this is false. All right, try number 5. All right, so it says 16 is less than B minus 8 if B equals 22. So I put 22 right there. So 16 is less than 22 minus 8. Well, what is 22 minus 8? 14. So it's eating the 14. Look, it's eating the 14. So it's saying 14 is bigger than 16. Guys, come on, let's focus. It's eating the 14. So that means it's saying 14 is bigger than 16. No, that's false. All right, I'm going to skip. We're going to do number 7. No. We're going to do it in a minute. All right, on number 7, 2J is less than or equal to 8 if J equals 5. Now, wait a quick second here. There is no operation. What? Yes.
Yes.
Because look, this is 2J. There's no operation between there. So that means 2 times J. Remember, with our equation, if there was no operation between the number and the variable, we assumed it was multiplication. So I'm gonna take that 5 and I'm gonna put it in for J. So 2 times 5 is less than or equal to 8. So that's how I should have it set up, because it's 2J, so 2 times J. Are we okay on that? All right, what is 2 times 5? 10. So it's eating the 8. So it's saying 8 is bigger or equal to 10. False. That one's false. You know a lot of falses. All right, we're going to do number 6 now together.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Hold on, Ramon. Hold on, Abe. All right, so on number 6, it says 6x plus 5 is less than 18 if x equals 5. So once again, there's no operation between the 6 and the x. So we understand that this is what? That that's times. So that's 6 times x. So what number am I going to put in for x?
5.
5. So 6 times 5 plus 5 is less than 18. And you can use your calculator. The order of operations, we multiply first. So 6 times 5, that's 30. And 30 plus 5 is 35. So that's the inequality that I get where it's eating the 18. So Aiden, it is false because it's eating 18. So it's saying 18 is bigger than 35, which is not true. That's a lot of false. All right, you all try number 8. Yeah. Because you're extremely low. Come on, we're not ready for an answer yet because everybody shouldn't be working ahead. All right, Ramon, what do you think? No, not yet.
Let's go.
We're gonna see in a minute. All right,
Wait, no.
I was just gonna plug it in.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so 5r minus 3 is greater than or equal to 25. R equals 6. So 5 times 6 minus 3. So 5 times 6 is 30. And 30 minus 3 is 27. So does this make a true inequality or a false one?
True.
True, because it's eating the 27. So it's saying 27 is bigger than 25, which is true. All right, try number 9. Huh? No, number 48. About 48, because it comes in. There's a whole box of them up here.
I got it. So this wasn't, I can tell you a joke.
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
I can tell you a joke. So
What?
She's already looking at
Your
it.
grade?
No, it's true. I was gonna put that in mine.
Who was it in here that had my favorite joke? Was it Timmy? On that test? The joke said, what was it?
My grade.
No, it
My
said,
sister.
give me a joke that will make me laugh. Timmy, didn't you write my brother? That was my favorite one.
I was just
I wanted to
thinking.
do it.
What was your second favorite? I was gonna put my grade.
That was my
All
Alright. Alright, so n equals 8, so 6 times 8 minus 12. Well, 6 times 8 is 48, and 48 minus 12 is 36.
It's true.
It's true.
have to do this subtract.
All right, let's flip it over. All right, inequalities can also be graphed on the number line. Now, there are two types of number lines, okay? We have less than and greater than, okay? And what's the difference between less than or less than and equal to? What's the difference? What's the difference between less than and less than or equal to? The equals part, okay? Now, if something is not equal, it is not included. So when it's just greater than or less than, we're going to use an open circle. Okay, because that means that that number is not included. It does not include the numbers that it's on because it's not or equal to. Do you write that down? You just have to fill in the notes right now.
I remember.
And then I'm going to explain that. All right, if it is included, then it's greater than or equal to, or it's less than or equal to, and it's going to be a solid circle on that number. And like I said, the difference is because of the or equal to part. So that means that that number is included if it's or equal to it. But if it doesn't have a line under it, then it's not equal to that number, so we're going to do an open circle. So like if I was to do this first one right here, x is less than or equal to 5. I'm going to go to 5, okay, because that's the number they gave me. And I look at the inequality. It does have the line. So if it does have the line under it, then I'm going to do a solid circle. Pay attention. Big deal right here. I'm going to go to 5, and I'm going to put a solid circle on it. And I'm putting a solid circle on it because the line, the or equal to part is on that inequality. So that number is included.
Can we also call it the solid circle and close?
Yeah, you can call it close. All right, and then I have to determine which way to draw my arrow, which way the answers go. So, can anybody read me this inequality? All right, James.
X is less than or equal to 5.
Okay, so which numbers are on the line that are less than 5? To the left. So this way. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Those are the numbers that are less than 5. All right, well, let's look at number 10. All right, so on number 10, to start it off, I'm going to look at what number it is. So it's 11, but would I do an open or a closed circle on number 11?
Open.
Open, because there is not a line under the inequality symbol. So no line under the inequality, so I do open. And then I'm going to read it. So who wants to raise their hand and read me number 11? Let's go with somebody different. Chevy? K is greater than 11. So on a number line, which way would the numbers be that are greater than 11? Up to the right.
So it's going to be 12.
So like 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way to infinity. Huh? No, you just do whatever's there. All right, let's look at number 11. Okay, I know I'm going on 12, but would I do an open or a closed circle on 12?
Open.
Closed. Oh, because it's got the line under it, so it's equal to that number.
I can read it.
Oh, what? Okay, read it to me.
12 is greater or less than
Greater or equal to
10.
F. Okay, so you're right. So it does say 12 is greater than F. So that means 12 is the biggest number it could be, or it could be, if 12 is the greatest, then the other numbers would have to be less than. So that is right. Can anybody read it to me starting at the F? All right, Terry.
F is less than or
Perfect. So both of those are right. So you can read it either way. So this does say 12 is less than or equal, or F is less than or equal to 12, which means I would shade this one to the left as well, numbers that are smaller than 12. All right, you all try number 12 and 13. So remember, if it eats the variable, it will always shade to the right. X, yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
All right, so on number 12, will I do an open or a solid circle on that 6?
open.
Open, because there's no line. And then who wants to read me number 12? Let's do somebody different. Aiden? Less than 6, because it's not eating it. So it's not eating it, it's less. So this is G is less than 6. G, which way are we going to shade it? Yep, to the left. What are you doing? All right, 13. Open or solid on that 25?
Open.
Open. And then who wants to review this one? Jonathan. So which way am I going to shade it? Shade it. Which way am I going to draw my arrow? To the left. Because it's less. All right, do 14 and 15.
This is not good.
I got a question for Chris.
Jackson.
You got a question about it?
I think I have the
It's
answers.
4.5, that's 4.5.
All right, we'll quiz Montezuma on this. Who's that? Don't tell him. Don't tell him who that is.
That's more. And she.
No,
Yes.
Michelle Obama and.
It's not Michelle Obama. Who's the guy?
Martin.
You cannot be a true rap fan if you do not know who it is.
Tupac.
No.
Then he said,
Joe, I can't say it.
Joe Martin.
Jay-Z, did you just disrespect Jay-Z like that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nelly Choppa.
I just seen this picture. It was like Jay-Z dressed like.
50 Cent.
No.
50
50 Cent is mean looking.
It's 50 Cent.
He's a
This
nice guy.
guy is bulletproof.
My
He
mom-
shot
my mom
someone.
got
Does anybody know who that is?
Yeah.
That's Martin.
What he said.
Are you serious?
Martin Luther. Yeah, Martin Luther King was the best rapper.
All right, Chevy, tell us.
Some old guy.
It's ludicrous.
I never listened to the Ludacris. That's like some 80s stuff.
That guy
I'm not
sounds
that
like he's ancient, dude. Does he
It's like a yes.
He said I'm not that.
Does he make better songs than?
All right, so,
50 Cent is this.
all right, open or close circle on the 0.
Oh.
Close, and then if I read it from the B, B is
Why do you have to
greater. Somebody gave it to me.
You're
All right, and then 15. 15, 4.5. 4.5 is 4 in,
The black people.
what's 4 and 1/2? So right here with a solid circle, solid circle on the 4.5, and Andy. And I also shade this into the right because it's eating X.
Oh, to the right?
It's eating the X, so X is greater than 4.5. All right, we're gonna add our last note under here. If it eats the variable. So what that means is if it eats the X, it always goes to the right. Yeah. If it eats the number, it always goes to the left. So if it eats the X or the Y or the M or the B, whatever variable it is, if it eats the variable, you'll always shade it to the right. Because that means it's wanting something more than the number that they give you. But if it eats the number, they're saying that number was the most I could handle, so I need things that are less than that. So that's why it goes to the left. Okay?
I've never seen you doing that.